Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. Geeky is sitting this video out. We're going to talk about Tolkien. We're going to talk about the Lord of the Rings being a gateway to the alt-right. When you thought that the discussion around Amazon series being terrible and brown hobbits were a big issue, but apparently Tolkien is a gateway to the far right, to extremism, along with C.S. Lewis and Aldous Huxley. Aldous Huxley, who was actually giving us a warning about the future, that we've ignored, obviously. And here we are. So we're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 297, almost 300,000 subs. Thank you so much for the support. Trying to get 300,000. If you could hit the subscribe button, if you could like us, that would be great. Hopefully you like us and know we're not leading you to the far right, contrary to what some idiots on Twitter with generic anime and Steven Universe avatars have to say. But apparently Tolkien is. This is coming from, TVP World. I saw it making the rounds on Twitter. I wasn't quite sure what was up with it, and then I looked into it and I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? But we've got the New York Times out there saying that video games are leading children to the alt-right. That Fortnite is leading kids to the alt-right. And here we go now. Tolkien is problematic. UK government scheme flags Shakespeare and Lord of the Rings as key texts for white supremacy. The British government safeguarding program Prevent has released a guide flagging some of the UK's most popular films, television series, and literature as possible signs of far-right extremism. Among those referenced were Lord of the Rings, the complete works of William Shakespeare, and the war film The Dam Busters. So this is happening about the same time that the UK is censoring Roald Dahl books, that James Bond books are getting censored, and apparently Goosebumps is too. Nobody seems to know what's going on with Goosebumps. It might just be the UK editions. But R.L. Stine said he hasn't censored the books himself. But there's definitely something going on in the UK. There's a lot of censorship going on. And now we're going to take some of the most beloved works of all time that have come from UK authors and label them as problematic, right? Popular British satirical television series Yes Minister and The Thick of It were also named by the counter-terrorism scheme Prevent for encouraging far-right sympathy. It said the works of fiction were key texts for white nationalists and supremacists. What? A report by Prevent's Research, Information, and Communications Unit, RICU, asserted that far-right extremists promote reading lists on online forums. Pieces from some of the world's greatest writers were put forward as possible red flags of extremism, including Shakespeare, Chaucer, Milton, Tennyson, Kipling, and Edmund Burke. Yes, if you read any of these great works of literature, many of which were recommended for years to be read in middle school, high school, college. If you read any of them, you're probably a Nazi. Prevent also noted a variety of popular British series, including 1990s political thriller House of Cards, spy thriller Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and Sharp. Some of the most notable films on this list of bad films that have been flagged include Beowulf, Canterbury Tales, the complete works of Shakespeare, Paradise Lost, The Four Feathers, Lady Hamilton, The Dam Busters, The Bridge on the River Kwai, The Great Escape, Zulu, Civilization, Ray Mears' Bushcraft Survival, and David Starkey's Monarchy. So basically any book or any piece of fiction that challenges you to think is a problem. We are living in 1984, which I think has also been put on this list too. Furthermore, they labeled the BBC's Great British Railway Journey presented by former Conservative Minister Michael Portillo as being viewed favorably by the far right. What the hell? Author and journalist Douglas Murray, on discovering that one of his books had been referenced in the report, wrote in the publication The Spectator, a number of books are singled out, the possession or reading of which could point to severe wrongthink and therefore potential radicalization. It seems that Riku is so far off track that it believes that books identifying the problem that was itself set to tackle are in fact part of the problem. It's like Fahrenheit 451, right? The list was produced after a major review of Prevent by William Shawcross. I published a report this month detailing assortment of failings of Prevent, etc., etc. This is coming from Newsmax, so take it as you will. It's coming from Newsmax. Tolkien works pave a path to the alt-right, to right-wing extremism. This is insane. Yeah, 1984. 1984 by George Orwell is on the list, of course, because 1984 is literally talking about this sort of thing. So in 2019, the UK government committed to carrying out an independent review of Prevent. William Shawcross was appointed as new independent reviewer of Prevent in 2021, and he made his review public on February 8th. In the foreword to the review, Home Secretary Suella Braverman wrote, "The review finds that there has been institutional hesitancy to deal with Islamic extremists and a reticence in challenging those who claim our efforts to tackle it are Islamophobic." So what's this have to do with Lord of the Rings? This has contributed to Prevent applying different thresholds for different ideologies. It has defined the extreme right wing too broadly so that it sometimes draws in right wing and center right politicians and commentators. What? So basically, they're trying to track down extremists. So they're compiling lists profiling right wing extremists, according to them, by basically throwing in any work of literature or fiction that requires that you participate in wrongthink, even if the whole purpose is to, show that this is wrong, I guess. What? So, yeah, they say, according to The Guardian, Riku was modeled after a propaganda unit from 1948, the Information Research Department, before it was shut down in 1977. They say, according to the report, the IRD would hoodwink journalists and academics while targeting trade unionists. So it sounds like the whole thing is a scam, but it's making the rounds that apparently The Lord of the Rings and several other works of fiction are problematic and will lead to alt-right extremism. This is the new satanic panic. This is, people are saying Clownfish freaking milquetoast TV will lead you to the alt-right when we are not even right-wing. It is what it is, guys. This is the Demon of the Month Club, and everything is a problem. That's why everything has to be rewritten. That's why we have to rewrite Tolkien to make it more modern day, right? That's why we have to rewrite Roald Dahl so we don't call kids fat. Because God forbid we call somebody fat that's fat. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.